Today, I will take you through a video that shows you a few good stretches if you are a runner. If you go for a run and then you don't really know how to stretch your body, but you know that it's super important to do so, this is a good video for you. So you will need a few props. One belt would be really good for you to have. If you don't have a belt, a yoga strap, you can also use a normal belt or maybe a scarf or a towel. If you have a couple of blocks also, they might be good. And I like to have a stopwatch so that I know how long I stretch on each side. If you are following the video and you always do the poses with me, with the video, then you will not need a stopwatch. So let's start on the back. Right ankle on top of the opposite thigh, making sure that the right foot stays flexed and active and the right knee rolls out and over to the side. We'll lift head and chest and go and catch the back of the left knee or the front of the knee if that's accessible to you, and then release head and shoulders down completely. So you want to make sure here that the upper body is relaxed as we stretch the right outer hip and glutes. So we'll start timing now, about 30 to 45 seconds on each side. Here, we need to remember to keep this top foot flexed. This is important to protect your right knee. You can pull both knees into the chest just as far as you feel that you're starting to open that right side hip. And as you stay, it's super important that you breathe so that you bring oxygen into the tissues and you help the muscles find some release after you run, find some opening. So take a deep breath in from the nose. Long breath out from the nose. And one more on this side. Very good. Release and we go straight to the other side. Left ankle on top, catching the back or the front of the right knee this time. Good. When you're ready, we start timing again about 30 to 45 seconds. And especially if this stretch is feeling quite intense into the hips and into the glutes, just breathe even more. You might feel that you want to hold the breath because if the stretch is intense, that's what we naturally tend to do. But do the opposite. Breathe even more. 2 more. Nice. Release both feet to the ground. And now find your strap, your belt, or a towel, whatever you're going to use. So we will start by extending the left leg out long, so the heel is to the ground, and then take the strap and strap the sole of the right foot. So here you're extending the right leg. The strap is into the middle of your foot, into the arch of the foot. You're holding onto it with both hands. And you're drawing the leg in towards you just until you start to feel a release into the back of the right leg. Depending on what's tightest, you might feel more into the hamstrings or maybe more into the space behind the knee or down towards the calf muscles. Just notice where the sensations go. We'll stay about another 30 seconds or so. See if you can press the right heel up towards the ceiling, flexing the toes towards the face, and maybe that will intensify the sensations a little bit more. Nice. We'll stay in this very similar position. Just move the strap a little closer to the toes and pull the toes down towards the face. You might notice now that the stretch moves more into the lower leg, more down into the Achilles. Just another 30 seconds here as well. Always working with that breathing in and out of the nostrils. For one more big breath. Nice. And from here, soften the right knee, move the strap again into the middle of your foot, so into the arch. We take the left hand on top of the left hip and try to keep the hip grounded as you hold on to both ends of the strap with your right hand and open the right leg out to the side. So now here we're stretching more into the inner thigh. So another 30 seconds or so in this variation of the pose. The right heel is reaching away from you. The toes are flexed. Good. Both shoulders to the ground and relaxed. Couple of big breaths. And soften the right knee, bring the leg back to center. Hold on to the strap with the other hand, and then take the leg across the body and over to the left side. Now this will target your outer hip, your glutes a little bit, IT band, and all the way down. So you might feel that the sensations go all the way down into the sides of the lower leg and maybe down into the ankle as well. See if you can keep both shoulders grounded and give it another couple of big breaths. Now if the outer leg is tight, this could be really intense. And if it's taking your breath away, breathe even more. Try to focus on that breathing. One last inhalation. And exhale. Soften the knee, bring the leg back to center, and then take the knee into the chest. Give it a little squeeze, release the strap. Extend both legs, and for a moment, give them a shake. Feel the difference between right and left. Good, we'll start over on the left side, same movements. So we'll strap the sole of the left foot, you're right into the middle of your arch, and then extend that left leg up to the ceiling as the right leg is extended and touches the ground. You can have both hands holding onto the strap. And again, you draw the leg in toward the chest, just as far as you start to feel the stretch into the back of the leg. Now, hamstrings can get tight, not only from running, but also from sitting for a long time. So if you're a runner, but you also work in an office, this stretch is super, super good for you. And if you can maybe find 5 minutes a day, even just to do these positions with a strap, that would be really amazing. Another big breath here. A little further forward towards the toes. So by doing this, we target more into the lower leg, more into the Achilles. Good, another few breaths here. If your hamstrings are really tight and the leg doesn't extend fully, you can keep the knee bent and stretch here. And eventually then you will work towards straightening the back of the leg. Breathe in for the last two. For one. And let's move the strap back into the arch. Right hand on top of the right hip, and we open the leg out to the left. Good. Both shoulders grounded, press the left heel away. Another deep inhalation. Long exhalation. Get back to center. Hold on to the strap with the other hand. Take the leg across the body and over to the other side. Good. See if you can keep both shoulders grounded and this left hip doesn't lift too much off the ground. Breathing nice and deep for two. For one. And back to center. Good. Soften the knee, move the strap away. We won't need it anymore for that. Get both knees into the chest, give them a little rock, and then rock yourself all the way up into a seated position. We'll move forwards and arrive on our hands and knees. So from your hands and knees, if you have blocks, prepare them either side of your mat. You might need them or not, but just as good to have them there. If you don't have blocks, no problem. You can also use 2 big books. So from here, you'll take your right foot in between the 2 hands. And if it doesn't easily reach there, use the hand, help it forwards, but land it in between your 2 hands. We'll wiggle the back knee back and find a low lunging position. You could pad underneath your back knee if you needed to. Now here is where you might want to be on blocks. So that will just help you to bring the floor closer towards you. So with this position, we're allowing the hips to sink down and the hip flexors to start to find some opening. You could stay with the fingertips to the ground or with the fingertips to the block. The back knee is to the ground, back toes could be tacked or untacked. Get a few good breaths here. As you breathe with every exhalation, allow the pelvis and the hips to sink a little deeper. Every time you stretch in this position, stay at least 30 seconds. Giving the time to the muscles to find a new length and to release. Beautiful, let's move to the other side. Hands down, come back onto your hands and knees and then switch to the other side. Good, make sure the foot arrives all the way in between the 2 hands. Back knee all the way back. And then again, you could be on fingertips or you could use blocks to lift yourself up. Let the hips sink down. Keep the breathing going. For 4, 3, 2, 1. And move the blocks away. Find your way back onto your hands and knees. Beautiful. So from here, we'll come back on the first side, taking the right foot right in between the 2 hands. Back knee to the floor and send it back behind you. This is where you might want to use your strap again. So we'll bend the back knee. And if it's easy for you to reach the foot, you'll reach around and catch the foot with a hand. If not, you can always use a strap. Maybe get somebody to help you if that's tricky for you to reach. And then with the strap, you'll pull the heel in closer towards you. So strap or no strap, we're finding some space now into the front of the thigh, into the front of the left thigh, into the quadriceps. So again, maybe the block could be useful here to prop yourself up. With the breath, you'll take the heel in just a little bit closer, maybe each and every exhale. Don't worry how close the heel comes to the buttocks. Just it's okay, whatever it is, as long as you feel some sensations and some opening into the front of the left leg. Good. If your quads are really tight, consider staying even longer, maybe up to a minute. When you're ready, you'll release and switch to the other side. Good. See if you need the strap. The 2 sides might be quite different, so one side might be easier or not. Just see how it goes. Another 3, 2, 1, and release. Good, nice. Both hands to the ground, both knees to the ground. From here, as you inhale, arch your back and look up. As you exhale, tap the toes, lift up into downward facing dog, so the body makes an upside down V shape. We press the hands firmly into the ground, fingers are spreading out. And then here, the feet, the heels might be touching the ground or they might be lifted, and that's totally fine. If it feels best for your lower back to keep the knees bent, you can also keep them bent. And that way we'll take some of the pressure from the hamstrings away and focus on stretching the back. If you're okay to extend the legs, then do so. Release the weight of the head down and look back between your 2 feet. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. On the exhale, drop both knees to the ground. Take child's pose. So you're sitting on your heels, the forehead is to the mat. And the arms can be in front of you, or you can release the hands towards the heels. 3 or 4 breaths here. And make your way back up. Good. So you're all done with your yoga for runners and your stretches. If you can remember to do all these stretches, or maybe just even a couple of your favorite ones, the ones where you feel that you are giving most benefits to your own body, and you do them regularly, you will really feel the benefits. You will allow the muscles to stretch out after you're running, and eventually you will become more flexible, but also more efficient in your running. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, hit like, subscribe, and in the description below you can also find links to my Instagram and my website.